Boss, last time we spoke, you mentioned about playing the game as opposed to the occasion. What's your mindset now towards the Edinburgh Derby, and we're now, 48 hours away?
Yeah, it still hasn't changed. It's important that we go and play the match and obviously try to pick up the points. That's what's really important for us, and the occasion will look after itself, I suppose. It's more for people who want to go and see the game, but the players have just got to concentrate on obviously the game plan and how we go about beating Hearts. That's the target.
Obviously the build-up's now in full swing, and obviously you've spoken to the national press ahead of the match. How does this compare to the Dublin derbies that you've been involved with before, both as a player and as a manager?
Yeah, it's completely different. Obviously there's much more interest, bigger crowd, and much more interest from the press here. So, but I think in relation to playing games, the derbies are, no matter whether it's 5,000 there, 4,000 there, or 15,000 or whatever you want to say, it's there's a lot of feeling for people who are following each club. So a derby will mean as much to the people that follow it at home, with smaller crowds, and it does with the lads that follow football here. And it's about supporters. I think derby matches, rather than players and managers, for me it's about winning the game and picking up 3 really valuable points for us. Supporters have a different look on it, and they obviously can enjoy it a little bit more than we do.
You also see a player at Chelsea as well. Do you feel that, in particular with London and Dublin, because of the amount of clubs there, it doesn't have the same impact as a 2-team city like Edinburgh?
Yeah, I think so. I think I've said this before. I think Scottish derbies are much better than the English ones, because it's the rivalry is really intense, and like you say, most of them are 2 clubs in the city, and there's a lot of history between the clubs. So I think it's a little bit more intense in Scotland than it does be probably in most other places, even in Britain, that it's not as intense. But we're looking forward to it. It's a ground as well that lends itself to a really decent atmosphere, and you've got to be able to stand up and be counted in that type of atmosphere, but not get involved in it.
You live in the area, away from your duties here at HTC. Do you bump into Hibs fans regularly? Do they kind of talk to you about the importance of this match as well? Do they regularly remind you about what a derby would mean?
Yeah, I think since I've been here, supporters have been great, both on and off the park, and I do meet them on a regular basis, and obviously the Hearts and the Scottish Cup are the two things they talk about more than anything else. The focus for us this year is making sure we stay in the league, and we could win on Sunday, be a massive step in that direction. Obviously we've got a game in a cup as well to look forward to, but it's really about the league games for me between now and the end of the season, to make sure that we pick up enough points to be there. And if you had a plus of picking up 3 points, that it is Hearts, that people can enjoy a bit more, well then that's great for everybody else involved.
By and large, the past is irrelevant, but what lessons do you feel you learned from your first ever Edinburgh Derby match? Obviously, unfortunately,
I thought we did okay. No, I didn't think we deserved to lose a 3-1. We got to defend set pieces better than we did on the day. That's one thing you learn from, is we can't give away soft goals. You've got to make teams work for them. And I think other than that, we were okay. We got to create a few more chances. We didn't create enough chances in that game neither, but I think a lot of the general play was okay. I think we played well enough on the day, and like I said, we can't give away sloppy goals. We've got to make teams work harder to score against us.
Let's talk team news. Tom Swords, is he going to be?
Yeah, Tom should be okay. Obviously Ivan and Ozzy are out, which is a loss for us. Ian Murray is still struggling a little bit. He should be back training maybe in the next week. Danny has come back in. Danny Galbraith's come back in and trained this week. So, but everyone else should be okay. So we're not too bad off this week.
Gary O'Connor, obviously, he's had troubles with his toe. Is that kind of putting you off the prospect of restoring back into the starting lineup, because it could potentially go wrong?
No, I think we've got to look at the bigger situation. It's important that the team plays well. Gary's a big asset to us in relation to the rest of the season. But the 2 boys up front have done really well over the last few weeks, and they deserve to play if they're fit. And it's like everybody, you got to wait your turn and you get back in the team. But we know Gary's a massive attribute to have at any stage of the game and any stage of the season for us. So he's motoring well at the moment. He's trained really well all week. So he's a big asset for us.
Rewinding back to one of your earlier messages, you said the mantra, hard work never killed anybody. The front 2 of Griffiths and O'Donovan, are they 2 of the hardest working? Is that the hardest working front pairing you've ever worked with? Because they do seem to put in there.
Well, I think in any of the strikers that I've tried to get, I think you try to get them that when we lose the ball, start from there defending, and what they've done really well as a 2 has been they've been hard to play against for defences, but also when we lose possession of the ball, we start defending quite quickly and try to win the ball back a little bit higher up the pitch. and that's what they give us, and that's why at the moment they're in the team. They work really hard to stay in the team, and they deserve a lot of credit for that. Obviously they're centre forwards and their job is to score goals, but you know, their work rate and their enthusiasm for the game and fitting into the game plan is really important, and that's what we have with both of them at the moment.